Hi guys, it's Miss Judy. Remember what I'm going to say? Happy Easter! Let's take a look at our calendar. So this is our church calendar. Last week we were right here, right in the middle of the season of Easter. So we're going to click forward. And we are still in the season of Easter. We have all this wonderful time together to celebrate and remember that Jesus is risen. So happy Easter. So we've been learning about the New Testament history book, the book of Acts, the actions of the apostles. And a history book tells you about the people, the places, and the events that happened. And the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles, gives us a history of the beginnings of the church. So we've been learning some different stories from the book of Acts. We heard about Philip and the man from Ethiopia, and we've heard about Peter and a Roman named Cornelius. And last week we talked about a woman named Lydia who learned about Jesus from Paul and became a part of the church. And we are the church with all those people. So our history book, our New Testament history book, we're going to find that in the New Testament. And it's near the beginning, right after the Gospels. So we have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, the Acts of the Apostles. And our story for today comes from Acts chapter 16. And I found an animation of this story. So a link to our story is in the description of this video. So make sure you watch our story after you see this whole video. And our story, last week we learned about when Paul told Lydia about Jesus. Our story today also has Paul. This time it's about when Paul and Silas were in prison. Now, a lot of things happened to Paul. Paul was imprisoned a bunch of times. Paul was shipwrecked. There was even a time that Paul had to escape from a city with a city wall, and his friends had to put him in a basket and lower him out a window so that he could safely leave the city. So Paul had a lot of things happen to him. But our story today is about a time when Paul and Silas were in prison. So when you watch the story, the animation of the story, I want you to watch for two things. The first thing is while Paul and Silas are in prison, something amazing happens. Now I'll give you a hint about what that thing is. Can you guess what maybe happens in that story? You can check it out when you watch the video. Another thing I want you to watch for in the video is at the very end of the story, at the very end of the animation, you'll see a lady dressed in purple. And they don't say it in the video, but that lady is Lydia, because the Bible tells us that when this thing happened to Paul and Silas, that they ended up going to Lydia's house. And so at the end of the animation, when they talk about them seeing other people, that was at Lydia's house. And the lady in the animation who's wearing purple, that would be Lydia, who we learned about last week. So make sure you watch the video. The link is in the description. And take care, everybody.